Hello, everybody all across the internet. You are tuned into Confidence and Cashflow Live with your favorite, Vanessa Simpkins. Today, we are bringing you a very sensitive but extremely fabulous topic, sales. Your aversions to it, your hesitations about it, what's really happening on these sales conversations that convert, and how you can get your mindset in line with making you the money you deserve and owning your value. Vanessa will be up in just 1 second, but here's how this is going to go down. If you are here for the very first time, you are going to have the opportunity today to come live on this show with Vanessa and have some coaching with her and get your questions answered. We'll tell you when that link is live, but you can wait for it at confidenceandcashflow.com/live. We'll let you know when to look for that beautiful pink link to get in here with us. In the meantime, throughout the show, we'd love to hear your comments. Let us know your questions, your concerns, and if stuff's resonating so we can make sure that this next hour really provides a ton of value. So, are you ready, Vanessa?
Yes. Woo, woo, woo. Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to our show here today. Thank you so much, Annie, the amazing Annie here, who is our head mindset mentor. Take your power back now. And we're bringing you a really close to our hearts topic. This is for you if you are a coach, consultant, healer, author, expert, and you're trying to get yourself out there making this six-figure online coaching business work for you, but somewhere along the way you get tripped up. Either, you have resistance to sales or selling. What does that really mean? How does that show up for you? Maybe you start all kinds of projects and you don't finish them. Or maybe you're giving away your coaching for free. Or maybe you are thinking to yourself, I'll just hire somebody to do the selling for me. I won't have to do it. Or you're thinking that if you're really good at what you do, people will just refer you clients. Or that if you're really spiritual, you won't have to sell. Spiritual people don't really sell. Sales is bad. It's that used cars salesman kind of idea. It's manipulative, or maybe it's even a little bit deeper. Maybe that resistance is, you just don't know what it is. It might be some concept or idea that you have about selling or salespeople. So today, we really want to jump in here with you and obliterate any resistance that you have around selling and sales so that you can really skyrocket your confidence and cash flow, get your business out there. And so it's a topic that's near and dear to our hearts. I want to make sure that you're all can see us and join us. If you're joining us on YouTube, if you're joining us on Facebook, we want to invite you into our conversation. We're going to open up this Hangout for Q&A here in a bit. But come on over to the URL that you see here streaming on the website, so on the video, confidenceandcashflow.com/live. And I'm also going to pull up some of the comments so we can see you. And if you are joining us live on Facebook, go ahead and drop something in the chat box. Let us know that you're here. Let us know what questions you have for us here today around sales, around growing your coaching business, so that we can help you. And while I'm going here and, ooh, did you hear that? Did you know that you can actually talk to your PC and it does things for you? It's just like a whole new world. So while we're here, I'm actually going to invite you, Annie, to start us off here. Why do you think most coaches, or why are our clients? What do you hear our clients really struggle with the most around getting out there with their high-end program? What are some of the things that they're saying? What do you hear them saying in terms of having these kind of aversions to sales?
I think you hit the nail right on the head, Vanessa, when you said that a lot of people feel really dirty about sales. They feel like it's a manipulation, or they need to break someone's ego down in order to build it back up, or you're twisting their arm, or you're over-promising and under-delivering, or any of these things. And when you have spiritual women who all they want to do is help people, heal their pain, get out there for them, all of these things, that's the last thing they want to do. right? And so to them, they see it as these polar opposite things of serving and selling. And instead, they don't see that that is only one way of sales. And we see that a lot. Most of the time, if you have a really negative relationship with sales, it's because you yourself have been really negatively sold to. But the great thing is, there are so many ways to avoid being that kind of salesperson. But if you're not ready to stand up and sell, you put yourself in permanent hiding and you make it completely impossible for you to go out and have the kind of impact that you should be having in your world and with your people.
Yeah, well said. So that's really the deal. If you're not selling, if you're not getting the word out there, then no one can hire you. Nobody can find you. So this is a real conundrum. All right. And we see, this really is what needs to get handled. And I remember when I first got started in this business, even though I was wonderful at sales, I had a job where I took a job specifically. This is the first book that I wrote, From Bankrupt to Making $900 a Day Selling Mops. I took a job specifically where I would have to sell every single day.
Mm-hmm.
And I was awesome at this job. But when it came time to now selling my own services, holy smokes, it was a completely different kettle of fish. And I think that's what a lot of coaches struggle with. When they become coaches, they don't think that they're going to have to sell, or that what they don't understand is that selling a product out here, like, my lipstick or something, or selling this car or selling this book, is very different than selling your own personal service. Because when you come to sell your own personal service, now you're looking at your worth, your value, and all of these ideas get taken into consideration when you're a coach who needs to sell your services. So I'm really, really excited to jump in this topic and this conversation. I want to invite you guys, to jump in here and ask me any questions that you have. What happens when you're, what happens when you're trying to get out there and sell your services to coach? Are you having people, maybe, are you getting on the phone with people and are they telling you, I just want to think about it? Are you having a hard time handling objections, or are you completely kind of stumped and stuck at like what to even do? Because here's what's really going on.
You know what I see happen a lot too, Vanessa, is when people are having a really heartfelt, like values-driven, ooey-gooey, amazing conversation with someone. The client's loving them and they're loving the client and everything's going great. And then when it comes time to state the value, state the price, make the sale, they flip into sales mode. Right? So it's like everything is going so great. It's like two best friends who just met, and yet immediately it's like, and the price for this program is $2,600 and you can do it at this. And they totally change their tone, right? They clam up, they shut down, they get over professional or cocky even. It's like you feel like you got to put on a different persona in order to sell. And that could not be further from the truth.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said. So there's a lot of different ways that your resistance or your aversion to sales could be showing up for you. And really what's going on here is that we all have this protection mechanism called our ego, and it wants to protect us from failure. Failure equates to death. Guess what? So is rejection. Okay, rejection is also equated to death with the ego. If you get rejected, people are going to judge you and then kick you out of the tribe, and then you die. So everyone's being managed by this thing called the ego, which tries to protect us using fear. Fear of what? Fear of death. So here you go, try to sell yourself, and you're instantly confronted with fear of rejection. This person might reject you. And then you get kicked out of the tribe and you die. So we're, as entrepreneurs, we have to get out there and market ourselves and promote ourselves. And like Annie says, is your resistance or your aversion, oh my God, now I have to put on this like different persona and be really, professional when coming to sales? Or is it something even more fundamental? Is it something more, I can't even, work on my website because, or is it, wow, I'm too nice on the phone with people. I think people, what I see happen a lot is that coaches think that, coaches want everyone to like them. We're in business because we want to help people. We want to transform the world, but a sales conversation is not a time to be overly nice. It's a time to be honest. So I see this happening a lot with our clients, that they're trying to be friends with people on the phone. It's like, think about it. That initial conversation that you have with somebody is not the time. This is when they're going to be listening in and saying, is she going to buy my crap? Can I push the lines with her? Is she going to like pat me on the back and buy my story? This is a time to not be mean, but be really honest. So, and I think, there's a lot of misconceptions around how to actually have a proper sales conversation. Again, I got involved in, I started off my coaching business over 8 years ago. And I struggled like a lot of people, didn't know how to find my niche. Who was I going to talk to? What was I going to sell? And again, I had this first book, From Bankrupt to $900 a Day Selling Mops. I had gone bankrupt as an entrepreneur because I started so many new businesses, didn't understand the importance of marketing and sales, and went bankrupt. I was doing this network marketing company. And I got started in coaching, actually helping other coaches understand the mindset blocks to own their value and actually what people buy, how to engage people, how to have successful sales conversations. So I took what I learned on the mop stage and I transferred it to my coaching consulting business, and it took off. And so I realized a lot of spirituals and a lot of women didn't understand the fundamentals of sales. So this is the topic that we want to explore with you guys here today. Let us know if you have any questions. We'd love to have you up here on the show. We're going to bring you guys on live, unmute you, and you can get some free coaching with me and Annie here today. And if you are joining us on any of the Facebook pages or groups or on YouTube, you want to hit the go to this URL, confidenceandcashflow.com live. And that will invite you into our conversation. There should be some really cool little pink button that says click to join Vanessa live on the Hangout. and if you're like, what? How do you do all this cool technology stuff? How does this whole thing work? There's even some instructions below there to help you get on.
So while we get queued up, Vanessa, what do you say to people who have this idea that, like, if I'm a healer or a highly intuitive person, if I'm using these gifts that were God-given, I shouldn't charge for that?
Yeah, this is a great question. That's fine, if you don't need money. You can do that. There are a lot of people that give away, free services, but they have jobs and they get money somewhere else.
Yeah.
If you want to make this a business, the number one thing, the number one most valuable thing that you have is your time. That's what you should be charging. And I think a lot of coaches get tripped up by how to package themselves. We're going to cover that on another training. But you should be charging the most for what comes naturally easy to you. This screws up a lot of people. They think, oh my God, I have to be some grandiose thing and really, come out here and over deliver like crazy. But it's actually a really interesting phenomenon. This is what a marketing mentor told me many years ago. He said, the thing that comes the most easiest to you, most natural to you, is what you should charge the most for. And there's nothing wrong with that, actually. There's nothing wrong with, helping people and charging money for it. Look at dentists and doctors. They don't work for free. But sometimes, hey, they go on these sabbaticals. Sometimes they do, run off to Africa. And there's nothing wrong with that either. If you want to gift people a certain number of scholarships per year with you, you can do that. Yeah. I just don't think, you're not really doing you're not really doing a great service out there in the world. If you want to be Mother Teresa, because who's gonna pay for your rent? I think.
And Mother Teresa took donations. Yeah. And so does the Dalai Lama. Mm-hmm. And your favorite singers all get paid to sing.
Mm-hmm.
and your pastor gets paid, right? So why do we stop? We see the value in the spirit-given gifts of everyone else and don't have a problem with the fact that they get paid, but it's hard. We take that, we look at ourselves and we go, but I can't pay because that's like an affront to God or something. That's all just a bunch of ego protection, like Vanessa was talking about before.
Yeah, I remember I had this one idea. I remember back in the day when I was a bartender many, many, many past lives ago, and you know, made really, I think, great money as a bartender. You know, $300-400 a night. I used to work at this Italian restaurant, family Italian restaurant, but I had this. I used to travel a lot and go to Thailand. Lived in Asia for a year, 2 years. Traveled there. Japan, China, Vietnam, Cambodia, Thailand, you know, did yoga for breakfast every morning for 3 hours on the beach with this guy that looked like Osama bin Laden. I mean, like, I lived my life. Came back, went back, fell back into bartending because I needed to make money. And I had this crappy car. It was this gold, this like old car, okay? Bought it for like $800. And here I am going to this bartending job, making like $800, making like $400 a night. And I caught myself having this conversation, and it was a conversation I was having with myself that said, you know, oh, all these people with money, you know, they're not spiritual. They, you know, and then I caught myself having that conversation. I thought, well, that's just ridiculous. You know, you can help more people if you have more money. You just become more of who you are if you have more money.
I love that. Could you say that again, please?
Yeah, you just become more of who you are when you have money. You know, it's there. You can do more. You can help more people when you have money. You know, there's nothing wrong with it. And like Annie said, Mother Teresa was, you know, she was a very actually persuasive woman.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
so, go ahead. Sorry. I was just gonna say, speaking of beautiful and persuasive women, we have one of our clients here with us today. Bridget, are you here? Can you talk for us, darling? Bridget. All right, we're going to find Bridget. Oh, there you are. Hi.
Yeah, sorry.
Bridget, darling, you are live with Vanessa. What's going on?
Hi, I'm doing good. I'm just listening to you wonderful ladies and feeding my baby.
Oh,
right on.
Oh.
So do you have any hesitations, hang-ups, anything about sales? I know you're getting visible every day. You're currently in the program and you're doing a great job working the plan, but is there any sales hesitation going on?
Yes, actually this week I've had a lot of gremlins pop up. I'm getting sales calls, which has been amazing, but I get really hung up in the final, like, okay, the investment is, I do that change of voice thing, just like you were talking about, Annie, and I feel like I have to switch gears, and I'm just not myself when I get into that.
Yeah. So how do you maintain you know, your composure and your confidence when you're on a sales call and it comes to talking about the investment? So one of the things, and I think you know, having a lot of practice is really going to help you, Bridget. So I'm so stoked now that you're having sales calls. And I remember the first time I had a sales call, I actually bombed 18 sales calls in a row. When I first started out coaching, I realized, oh my God, this is a different kettle of fish. This is not like selling mops. So I get it. And so having practice is great. One of the things that I suggest, you know, everybody do at the end of the sales call is to, you know, assume that people want to buy it, you know, because they're on the phone with you, right? And if they didn't want this thing, if they didn't have a problem that you could solve, they would have not been attracted to you in the first place. And if they didn't have a problem that you could solve, if they didn't want it, okay, they wouldn't be on the phone with you. They would be out baking cookies and having orgasms. That's the truth. So by virtue that they're like on the phone with you, they want it and they need it. And I think, you know, to maintain this confidence throughout the whole call, especially right up until the end, you have to remember that your client is going to be better off by working with you, not without you. And if, again, to me, there's a spiritual component here. That's why the first book is all about sales as a spiritual practice. Because why are these people in front of you? How did they get on the phone with you? And what made them come to your Facebook group? What made them watch your videos? What made them pick up a phone and fill out forms and arrive? You know, what made them do that? How did that happen? So, you know, your job is to get really, really good at helping people say yes to themselves. And as a matter of fact, you know, I find that the sale doesn't even start until you mention the price. And now there's some conversation and there's some objections and there's some, you know, back and forth. So tell me a little bit about what's going on in your mind when you're like at that point, you're going to say, hey, you know, and the investment is blah, blah, blah.
So I guess I get a lot of self-worth problems. I have like, oh my gosh, can I really help this person? And I know I can because I just talked to them for 45 minutes about how I could, but I just get like, oh crap, I'm not worth this much money, that kind of thing. And then I feel very salesy because of my history and businesses where that's kind of, I got to get the next sale. I got to get the next sale when, yes, the money's nice, but I do love what I do too. And I want to help people. So that's kind of what starts to go through my mind is like self-worth. And then just like, I'm begging for money.
Yeah. So this begging for money thing, this is a really interesting topic and I'm super happy that you brought this up. So when do you feel like you're begging for money?
I guess when I like say, you know, the investment is $3,000. But you know, today, if you invest with me right now today, it's $2,500. You know, I feel like I'm trying to sell them on doing it now kind of thing.
Awesome. That's a great question. So we definitely teach our clients, you know, what works. And Bridget, you're one of our clients and, you know, you're going through our 8-week program and that's awesome. And so here's the deal. Okay. And this is just something that you're going to have to accept as, you know, one of the principles. Let's call it the principles to sales. Okay. People buy for 2 reasons. They buy because of fear of loss and greed. And more people buy because of fear of loss. Period. End of story. Close the book. Move on. That's it. It's kind of like saying, you know, our human bodies are made of 70% of water. We can't sit around and drink, you know, alcohol or coffee all day long and have a healthy system. That doesn't work. It's not going to work for forever. So our bodies work on water. The human psychology, the human psychosis, the brain buys because of fear of loss or greed. And more people buy because of fear of loss, period. So one of the things that I got to understand at a very visceral level while I was doing these 4 years of selling mops on stages around, you know, is that I tested things. I tested going on the stage and being really nice and, hey, you know, buy my mop. It's really cool. And people were like, just get out of here. Like, this is so stupid. And I tested out like, hey, we only have a certain amount of this really cool deal. And if you let me know right now, I'll give you this cool thing. But I only have a certain number of it. I don't have a lot of these things, but let me know right now if you want it. Bang! And I would sell out all the time. And even though that wasn't true, I had tons of these freaking mops. You know, I had tons of these special packages. But the fact is, it was a superior product. It didn't require having, you know, chemicals. It was totally eco-friendly. And so my job became, you know, helping people say yes to getting this awesome experience. So there was a little white lie in there because the truth was I didn't have a finite amount. I have a ton of these freaking mops. But the other part is, if I didn't put this like kind of fear of loss thing in there, they wouldn't go for it. So it's the same thing when you're offering your coaching program. And here's what I like to here's what's really going on at the end of a sales call. You are battling with people's egos. So we teach you how to give people an incentive for doing it today. An incentive for doing it now. Because, you know, if you give somebody, 2 days, 5 days, 7 days to think about it, most people talk themselves out of it. That's just the way it is. So we give, and I give people a discount because I want to work with action takers. And that's all. You can say that. You can say, hey, you know what? The investment for a program is $10,000, but hey, I love to work with action takers. So if you get started today, I'll take off take off $2,000. It's $8,000. But hey, if you want to come back at any other time and come back and pay the full price, no problem. So it's not begging, it's just giving somebody an incentive to do it now. And the reason is, think about it. Think about your experience in life. The people who make quick decisions, those are people who have successful lives. I'm going to tell you, really, honestly, because you take your power back every time you make a decision. And some people can think and think and think and think themselves right out of living. True or true?
Yeah.
So you're not begging somebody for money. You're just giving them an incentive to make a decision today. And the reason why you're doing that is because you want to work with action takers. Because those are the people who get, that's been my experience. The people who waffle and who take, weeks and weeks to make a decision. Oh my God, imagine if it took you weeks and weeks to bring your car in to get a freaking oil change. The car would explode. It would cost you hundreds and thousands of dollars. But there's a lot of people out there in life who procrastinate making decisions. True or true? Ask yourself, are they the successful people in life? No. So offering a discount at the end of your call is not about it's not about begging people. You're not begging somebody. You're actually coming from the places, hey, my program is all that and a bag of chips. And today I'm going to give you, if you want to get started today, we'll take off some money. Otherwise, you can come back anytime, no problem. Come back next week, come back next year. You just got to pay the full price. What do you want to do? And what's going to happen is it's not squeezing, but it kind of is. You're going to squeeze the real objection out of them by doing that.
Yep.
Okay. And people are nice. They don't want to tell you the real objection, but you're going to squeeze it. You're going to squeeze it out of them. And then when you answer the real objection, the person might say, oh my God, it's a lot of money. Yeah. Okay. The last time I spent a lot of money and it didn't work out. Okay. Let me address that. That's the real reason you're having a hard time committing here. Let's talk about that. Right? Does that make sense, Bridget?
That's awesome. Yes, that's exactly what I needed to hear. I love all of that.
Yay.
Yeah, and your confidence in saying it and everything too is something I need to learn. I know that too.
The confidence. Yes, this is exactly what's happening. On a sales call, this is what people buy from you. They're buying your confidence. They're buying your certainty. Write this down. This is a writer down. A person on the phone that has the most certainty wins. End of story.
And you're already blossoming in this way, Bridget. In the program, we didn't know you before the program, but now think about the hesitation about putting your image out there or getting out there or doing your live video. You've bust through all that. So yes, do you need to work on that confidence? Absolutely. But you're showing up every day and doing exactly that.
Yep. It's part of the package. So this is why we're so big on confidence and cash flow. You need to be confident about, what problems that you solve for profit. We're going to do this on another one of the trainings, how to own your value to charge what you're worth. And again, that's in our membership site as well, Bridget. So you might want to go back over and have a go through that whole process, because the fact is, you're going to get your clients better results if they work with you over a longer period of time versus just a one-off session. And that's the way it is. You're able to instill more habits over a longer period of time. And you should charge for that. That impacts their life in so many different ways. And the other piece where the confidence comes in is, why are they on the phone with you? Why, out of the thousands of freaking coaches around the world, did this person find you? to me, that's like a real spiritual component here. So it's, find your confidence in the fact that whatever source, power, spirit, connected you guys, if you're on the phone with them and and you've had a 45-minute conversation, you can help them. Your confidence comes in not to manipulate them, but to help kind of stand next to them and say, hey, I can help you with that. And you're not bullying people. You're arguing with an ego, the other person's ego that's trying to protect them using fear. Fear of what? Fear of failure that came from the past. That's what's really going on in the sales call. So I'm super stoked that you're joining us here. And yes, confidence is everything. Confidence is what people buy. You've got to feel confident and really certain about your program. And this has been a great question. Thank you.
We got Adita here. Adita's been waiting lovely and patiently. Hey, you are live with Vanessa. What's going on?
Hi guys. Can you hear me okay?
Were you able to unmute? Let me turn up your volume. Talk to us now. Can you? Oh, there we go. Hi.
Okay. Hi. So thanks for hosting this. This is amazing. I've been coaching for 2 years, about a year full time. And before that, I worked in corporate. And so I have like this amazing network of people. And every time I go to call people that I kind of know or know from the past, there's this like, the resistance is so strong that I don't even know how to get past it half the time. Like I'd rather talk to strangers. And it's been so clear with my coach and with people that I do work with that the people that know you are probably the people that are most likely to refer you, or that, that are not too close, not too far. And yet those are the people I'm most afraid to talk to. And I seem to break out of that constant struggle, and it becomes like this energy drain over and over again. I'm like, oh God, I have to make these phone calls. How do I avoid them? It's awful.
Well, and then thanks so much. This is a great question. We've got a whole bunch more comments here, but Adita, it's Adita, yes?
Yes.
So I would say that you're right.
What's that?
Your friends are not going to buy your coaching service. Your friends and your family see you as, that person, they see you as a friend. They don't see you as an expert. That being said, calling people that you do know you well for referrals is a different story. And what I would suggest in that instance is to really, get really clear on the problems that you solve for profit. Right? That's your why. Like, why are you doing this? Why are you really doing this? What is this all about? What's your big why, Adita?
My big why is to support women whose lives look good on paper to actually find fulfillment, because checking boxes generally doesn't bring fulfillment. It just brings, oh, what do I need next to feel better? Oh, I still don't feel good enough. What's the next thing? So that's the thing. And it looks different for everyone. For some people, it's a relationship. For some people, it's a different career. For some people, it's just relating to their careers differently. So that's really the thing I'm most passionate about in my private practice.
Right. So that why, bring that up when you're, get really, really into that when you're going to go pick up the phone and talk to somebody about referrals.
Yeah.
That's the space that you talk from, not the space of, oh, I need this and that. That's where you find that confident piece. And the other thing I would suggest that you do is build yourself a sales attraction system that is completely unrelated, does not rely on you having to call people up and ask for referrals.
Yeah.
Because the people who don't know you, what we teach our clients how to, yes, make offers to their warm market, because most of the times coaches, okay, and here's a tip, guys, and this is a writer downer. I hope you do this as soon as you finish this training with us here today, because it will change your entire business. If you are on social media, on Facebook, and you don't have in your timeline image, you just have a picture of your family and you're not mentioning that you have a coaching business, you're missing out. That is prime real estate. Okay. And so, you need to be you need to be making offers to, the audience that is around you right here, that is never, that sees you as an expert, but you've never made an offer to. Do that. Absolutely. That's your warm audience. Do that. That's the best way, fastest way to attract sales. And then after that, now you're getting into, okay, how can I expand beyond that and attract more people? And so, do you have any kind of system set up, Adita? Are you using paid advertising to attract clients?
I haven't done a ton of paid advertising. I am on Instagram, and I do have a Facebook page, and I'm much better on Instagram than Facebook. So I do have that. And it's one of those things where my own ego gets me caught up in, oh my gosh, I'm spending too much time on social media, and not enough time making calls, and vice versa, no matter what I do. So that's a fun little trap, but it's super helpful. Just your comment about talking from my passion. Like, I just forget that that's the thing that gets people excited and that they can probably relate to. And yeah, and I'm like, oh, they're gonna think I'm calling for weird reasons. Yeah.
And it totally moves you out of the space of, oh my God, I need something, and it moves you into the space of, I have something and I'm giving.
Yes.
Anytime, here's another nugget that I want to share with you. Anytime you feel weird, like I remember back in the day, this is before Take Your Power Back Now did $150,000, $80,000 a month in revenue, working with women all around the world. This was when it was just me and my one little assistant, and we were kind of making 10 grand a month or so, and had a few clients. And there was a lot of days when I was like, oh my God, the world is going to end, and just panic would happen. I would find myself in sheer panic. Okay. Oh my God, what if I lose a client or two and then I'm done, And anytime I would get into this panic mode or anxiety mode, I would say, okay, what can I give? So when we move into a space of, panic, it's usually because we're thinking about ourselves. And the fastest remedy for that is to start giving. I would make a video for my clients. I would share something on social media. I would start to give, because you can't outgive the universe. Mm-hmm. So same thing when you're getting on the phone, are you coming from a place of, hey, I've got this awesome service that I can give, that I want to impact, I can share from this place of abundance overflowing. Come at it from that instead of, I need clients. Yeah. Really powerful.
So helpful.
Yeah, you're welcome, Adita. Great question. Tune in if you haven't checked out. We're going to have, make sure that you register for, we have a 6-part free course. It's at confidenceandcashflow.com.
Yes.
If you haven't registered for that, make sure you're a part of that, because we're going to cover paid advertising and how to set up your sales attraction system next week. Awesome. Make sure that you come back, stay tuned in, make sure you're inside the loop, and we'll shoot you guys out an email, let you know when we have those trainings. Great question. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a great question coming in, Vanessa, from the Bikini Business Coach page from Crystalline Huntsman, who says, what's the first, I'm guessing this is first step toward identifying the beliefs that don't serve you and what's blocking you? What's that first big clue or step?
Yeah, great question. Okay, so this is the $1 million question. Okay, and I'm gonna just lay it down straight to you, because there's a lot of this law of attraction, be positive thinking, coaching out there going on that is absolutely harming you. And I got stuck in this myself for quite a while. I've always, you always got to look good and everything's got to be good and positive. And what happens if you're always focusing on the positive is that you're completely oblivious to this huge freaking gremlin monster, darkness, shadow. Okay, and if you're oblivious to it, you can't deal with it. You can't change it. You're unconscious to it. So my first my feedback to you, my answer to you, if you're asking what's the best way to identify when we have a limiting belief, okay, is to ask yourself, this very uncommon question, which is, what's the worst thing that can happen to me? I want you guys to write that down. You know, what's the worst? So you're here. You're in your office. You go to sit down and do a video, or to pick up the phone and call somebody to do a workshop, or to promote your book, or to do something, and you, boom, right? You get hit with resistance. You find yourself tooling around on Facebook, doing everything else other than your task list. Boom, you know that you're in resistance. There's some kind of belief or a decision that's preventing you from showing up. So what I'm inviting you to do is to go down the rabbit hole and to go and to find out what's really, what belief is in your mind. And we do that by asking the question, well, what's the worst thing that can happen? Well, the worst thing that can happen is I would, call this person up and talk to them about my workshop, and they'd hang up the phone at me, like they'd think I was a loser. Okay, well, so then what happens? Well, and so we take you through a series of questions to identify that this is indeed, your ego trying to separate you using what? Fear of failure, fear of rejection, which equates to death, right? That's how the ego works. And then we ask you a series of questions to find out what your core belief is, because your mind is like an oven. Okay, and that's the same thing with your reality. Okay, your reality is your beliefs are what bake out your reality. So the first thing to do is to find out what belief you have, and you do that by stopping yourself and asking the question, well, what's the worst thing that can happen here? Right? Instead of allowing that decision to just run you around, you're going to stop and you're going to deal with it. You're going to like open up the hood of your mind and say, what the hell is in there? Right? Because that's what's driving your car. You're just unaware of it. And as soon as you become aware of it, it can't prevent you anymore. Is that helpful? Let us know.
We got a lovely love note from our Bridget, who was on earlier. I did not know this. Did you, Vanessa? Today is actually her graduation day. So what a lovely way to celebrate your graduation. It says, thanks, Vanessa. I have come the furthest I have ever have in the last 8 weeks because of the program, more than the last 6 months, and today is her graduation day. And she's ready to keep moving. So Bridget, we love you. Big, big, big congratulations. And speaking of congratulations and graduation, we have one of our other beloved, very, very recent grads here. Jennifer, you're live with Vanessa. What's going on?
Speaking of congratulations,
can we get your sound queued up, dear? Talk for us. There you are. Hi.
Can you hear me? Hi.
Yeah.
Hi,
What's going on? Well, I graduated, but I just can't get enough. So I'm going to be on these calls.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah, it's great. And I totally agree with Bridget that I've just, those 8 weeks have been so transforming. It's just been amazing. So it's just been great. Yeah. So I'm just kind of getting on and hearing the questions and the answers and all of those, because I think, all of us go through all of it at some time or another. And it's always good to be reminded of new ideas and old ideas and just keep going on. Yeah.
How are you feeling these days about your relationship with sales? Is there anything that Vanessa can help guide you away from or toward?
My relationship with sales isn't too bad, but I don't think anyway, but I haven't had a call for a while, so maybe when I get on, I'll feel differently about it. Mm-hmm. But usually that isn't as much. My question is more about getting people on the sales call to begin with. So, just making sure I'm offering enough value and I'm confident about it.
I love this question. So, thank you, Jennifer, for bringing, up the piece that comes right before sales is the marketing. And as a business owner, as coaches, nobody tells you this. They say, oh, come and become a coach and you can, you know, you can live in your laptop and run in the beach and have this great freaking life and make a ton of money. But they forget to tell you that you have all these different learning curves to master, like sales and marketing and your, you know, mindset mastery and online technology. And then you have, you know, your whatever you're certified in, or, you know, whatever area that you want to teach or coach in. So there's so many learning curves. And one of the biggest learning curves that we, that I noticed, you know, that I also love to teach women about is copywriting. And now we're getting into making offers. So, you know, what, you know, sales is one thing, but that comes after people, you know, are engaged by you. So we teach our clients again here how to be visible, how to deliver value, and make offers to people who can say yes. All right, that's the fastest recipe for cash flow. Be visible, deliver value, make offers to people who can say yes. And Jennifer, you're aware, you know, we teach people the 30-day video challenge. We talked about that here on one of our trainings. Yeah, and so, great. Yeah, it's great to get out there, right? Because a lot of coaches have this visibility issues. And I love online video. You don't have to be perfect. So I think for you, you know, that edge, or that the next edge to really soften, or that learning curve, is more about creating engaging posts.
Right.
How do you do that, and how do you do that consistently in the beginning until you have a system that does the marketing for you, right? Because in the beginning, when you're a brand new coach, you should not be building these crazy ass systems. You need to find out, like, who are your clients and what are really the problems, and how do I talk about that, and how am I sure that those are the ones? And then you go out and you build websites and all these fancy pants systems. Otherwise, you're gonna have to redo it all over again. And hey, I've been there. I've done that. It's very expensive. Don't do that. Right? Don't make those mistakes. So you have a Facebook group, you're running your ads, and you're getting people in that group every day. So you've got this platform now, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been great. Yeah, it's been great.
It's been great. Yeah, so that's really cool. You see a lot of new coaches are like, oh, I've got to sell my auntie and my cousin and my neighbor and my dog because I don't have any clients. So you've got some new eyeballs, some new people, a new tribe. And so now we're getting into the conversation of how do you make engaging posts. So we covered this on another training, but I want to remind you, I want to invite everybody here, you know, what are the top 10 problems that you solve for profit? What are they, Jennifer?
Well, top 10 problems I solve for profit. So one is confidence, lack of confidence, self-worth, value.
So how would your clients say that? How, like, you're so, and again, this is important. We're talking about languaging. What would they say? And let me give you guys a tip, okay? I want you guys to try this. Who's ready for a challenge? Who's going to take me up on a challenge? I love to challenge my
Me. Do I count?
Yeah, I count? Okay. So I'm going to show you guys here on the Bikini Business Coach page. If you guys aren't part of my free group, come on in here, because you're gonna, a lot of what we teach our clients, you know, is basically stuff that works. So one of the things that we do really well here at Take Your Power Back Now is there's so much going on in the marketplace. I mean, it's so easy to feel overwhelmed. Technology, online marketing, do you do this? Do you do that? What do they tell? This guru says to do this, that guru says to do that. It's like, I'm overwhelmed, okay? But what we do really well is we show people, and we drill down just, you know, the next 3 steps to make sales, because that's when you're, you know, that's where your confidence comes from. So I'm going to share with you guys a post. I'm going to invite you to all do it here. All right. And this is the post. Okay. It says, I'm curious, if I were to gift you 1 hour of my time, not today. Oh, yeah. Okay. What would you want me to help you with? I'm going to invite you guys to post that anywhere you have a social media challenge. Could be Instagram, could be Facebook. Well, Vanessa, I don't have a free group or a page yet. Who cares? Use your personal profile. And find out what words in their own language do they see you as an expert with, and do they want your help with? All right. That's going to give you some really great nuggets to then go out and start and make trainings and videos about those specific problems in their language. Because again, buyers are people who have a problem, and your coaching is what solves that problem. So your marketing should always meet the conversation that your clients are having in their head, right? They're not out there buying vitamins. They want a painkiller because they have a headache. So we think, oh, this is what, a lot of times when our marketing isn't engaging, it's because we think that they want to buy this, but no, it's not what they want to buy. They want to buy, they call it this. So one of the first rules of marketing is to sell people what they want and then give them what they need. How do we find out what they want? We'll ask them. So Jennifer, will you try that? Will you take me up on that challenge today?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Fantastic.
Absolutely. It's going right out there.
Right on. I love it.
Yeah.
We love it. Hey, Vanessa, guess what?
What?
We still have time for people to go to confidenceandcashflow.com/live. Get in here, and joining us, a new friend from earlier this week, Phyllis is back.
Hey, what's up, Phyllis?
Phyllis is back.
Vanessa.
Phyllis, welcome back.
Hi.
How are you?
Great. How are you?
I'm awesome. It's
Right
great
on.
to be here. Thank you so much.
Yeah. What questions can we help you with?
God, I'm so overwhelmed, and I'm watching myself on this video, and it's like not synced. So it's kind of freaking me out.
There's a bit of a time delay. Yeah.
I'm watching it, really look at the screen because I'm going, yow. You know, you have some really powerful material here, and I want to thank you for sharing it. Just a little bit about me in my past. I am a small business entrepreneur, and I've made tons and tons and tons of mistakes. And that's in real estate. It's not to do with what I'm launching now, which is a spiritual empowerment life coach program. And as I shared with you ladies several days ago, I just went to my immediate sphere of people, and I targeted women that I knew had some kind of spiritual foundation. And I invited them to my home, and I did a little powwow and just reintroduced them to me, and told them what I was doing. So from there, now I have, I'm up to 12 people as of yesterday.
You were at 9 like 4 seconds ago,
Let
Phyllis.
me just ask you a question about, hold on a second, because I'm confused. Is it 9, do you have 9 clients now, or do you have 9 people that are coming to watch you do these little workshops?
Exactly. I have 9, and then I've had 3 more since last night, but I don't have, as you said, I have no cash commitments.
Okay. So this is a common problem. And so thank you for bringing this, Phyllis. I'm going to give you a tip that if you're open to it, to convert some of these people who are coming to your workshops, but now you want to get them as a high paying client, right?
Exactly.
So what you want to do, and this is something that we teach our clients in the workshop profit secret system. This is how I actually made my first 6 figures as a coach. So I, again, spent 4 years selling mops and lint removers on stages, and had a lot of resistance and a lot of fear, and who am I, and it's imposter syndrome, and I'm just this girl selling mops, how am I going to do this coaching thing? And then I had a light bulb moment, okay, Phyllis, and the light bulb moment was, even though I wrote this book, okay, I had somebody approach me to come and do a workshop at a meetup group about law of attraction workshop, and I put them off for 6 months because I didn't think I was ready. Okay, that's how much resistance and fear I had about it. And finally, I was talking to my sister one day, and she said, you know what, Vanessa, one day you're going to be out there on stages making these jokes and telling people about all this mop stuff, and it's, you're going to look back on this time in your life when you're living in hotel rooms and you have no life, and it's going to be a big joke. And I thought, wow, what if I sold coaching and consulting like I sold these mops? What if I use the same recipe? So I'm going to share with you what that recipe is right here. And this is a big mistake that coaches make in hosting live events and workshops, okay? I'm going to show you how to make $100,000 by hosting small, 15 to 20 person event, intimate workshops, okay, that last 2.5 hours.
Right.
And how to generate, $100,000+ a year as a coach. This is what you do. The mistake people do is they go out there, they do a workshop, they try and sell the workshop for $500. That doesn't work. Nobody knows who you are. They're not going to give that kind of risk and investment up front. So you charge a small $20, $40 at the door, $20 in advance fee to come and watch you. So they have some skin in the game. Okay. And then once people come to this workshop, you give them some great value. I'm not going to get into the whole semantics of how to, portion out and what to say and in what area, we give that to our clients. But at the end of the workshop, you want to reserve the last half an hour to making them a one-time offer right now and today, which is an hour of your time with some bonuses. Maybe if you have your own book, give it to them. If you don't have your own book, buy some books and give it, make that into the kind of the prize. You could give some audios, but basically you're selling them a $97 breakthrough strategy session with you, the speaker. So, hey, if you want to know more, we talked a lot of, we did a lot of things here today in the workshop, but I can only go so deep. My invitation for you, if you want to work with me, buy this strategy session today. It's $97. The value of it is $500, and you list off all of these things. Well, what things? Well, here's the book. I'm going to give you this audio over here. I'm going to give you this cool thing over here. Today, the normal value if you buy all this is $500, but today it's only $97. But it's only for today. Don't come back tomorrow and say, "Hey, I changed my mind, Phyllis. Can I buy it?" The answer is no. It's today only. And what will happen is you're going to get people to right there, give me a credit card, give me a check, give me cash, and boom, you get them to commit to a $97 one-time 1-hour coaching session with you. Okay. And then what you do on that breakthrough session, and again, I've taught hundreds of women how to make millions of dollars with this recipe. It works really well. And this is how I did my first 6 figures. Now, when you get on the phone with these people, you're going to give them a half an hour of coaching, and you're going to, really get them some great nuggets. And then the last half an hour, you're going to have a sales conversation and invite them in to continue working with you in your hiring program. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's how it happens, guys. The reason why these coaches, and I'm sure you've seen a lot of this happen, they have these big, massive 3-day, 4-day events, and they're selling on stages, and people are running in the back of the room with a credit card. Okay, that costs hundreds of thousands of dollars to produce. And if you're going to sell thousands of dollars of coaching on the stage, you have to have a platform of a few days to build that kind of trust, okay, with somebody. That's why these speakers have these crazy events. Now, you can sell your high-end coaching just by adding one extra step in there. It can be a really small, intimate, super cool. I got started in my yoga teacher's basement, okay, doing these workshops just like you're doing, Phyllis. And that's how you can, and every time I would speak, I would make between $5,000 and $25,000. 50% of the room is going to take you up on that $97 breakthrough session if your audience is the right audience, obviously. And then I would say another 50% to 70% of those breakthrough calls will translate into a high-end sale. Is that helpful?
Absolutely, yes. Thank you so much.
Yeah, great question. I'm super stoked that you came on here again and you were able to get on today. Annie, I think we're almost wrapped up here for time.
We are. So any final super gems about how to get people over that hump and ready to sell?
Yes, my super gem for all of you guys is if you haven't come and join us, we have a free course called Confidence in Cashflow, how to skyrocket your confidence in cashflow. And it's, we've been doing this now. I've been doing this now for over 8 years. We've helped hundreds of women all around the world in different countries skyrocket their confidence in cash flow. We get the same questions from new coaches. Most of our clients are healers, they're coaches, they're consultants, they're authors, they're speakers, and they're struggling with this owning your value piece, breaking through visibility blocks. How do I make sales? How do I, Vanessa, what do I say? How do I make offers? And so I've made this 6-part free course for you. It's an email course, so every day we're going to give you an action step, an email with an action item and a worksheet to go through. And really, by the end of these 6 days, you're going to have some clarity, all right? And that's what I really want for you, is clarity, because when you have clarity, that's real power. That's when you get into action. And so my invitation for you is to make sure that you're part of that free 6-day course. You're going to get a ton of clarity, which is awesome. But I think the more that we do these calls, Annie, the more we're getting such great feedback. I want to do more of them. So make sure that you're a part of that program, a part of that course, that 6-day free course, because we'll be sending out some emails. And next week, we'll be doing some more of these cool trainings where you can have the opportunity to come on here live, ask your questions and get some free coaching and nuggets and clarity like the people who have done here today. And that's really what's going to help you guys. That's really my intention. So come back and join us. Join us again. Annie, anything else that you want to mention before we jump off today?
I want to thank our amazing guests, Adita and Phyllis, and our beloved, very recent graduates, Bridget and Jennifer. Thank you for showing up today. Thank you for putting yourself out there. And we will see you all very soon. Thanks for being here, Vanessa.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Annie. Big hugs.
Bye.
Bye.